Hello, space engineers, and welcome back. Last time we worked on our tanker up there. I did get it to do a return trip, or at least I've got that programmed. Just that for now, anytime it seems it'll disconnect okay, but then it doesn't actually start the autopilot, either there or coming back. I'll have to work on that a little bit, but for now, we don't really need it. It's full of hydrogen. My tank down on the station's full of hydrogen, so we don't need any of that. Beyond that, what I have done on off camera is, well, let's get around to this side. We'll be back over here. I went ahead and added a large cargo container. And I've also added a few things over here. This event controller, all that's doing is that's putting this hydrogen tank on stockpile whenever that there is connected. So I'm essentially running off of that tank when this is running. That's not running right now because my batteries are full. But when that's running, I'm basically running off of that tank until it disconnects. And then I'll be running off that tank, so I won't be using a whole lot of that tank, or ideally I won't be using a whole lot of that tank. I think I added a couple more batteries while I was also off camera. And the other thing I added is I went ahead and added my inventory manager. I use this one, IQ. It's a bit lighter weight than ISI's is. It doesn't take as much of your CPU up, or at least that's what it says. But I've got that. I've got my inventory manager going. It'll do inventory management, or it does not. You can have it select not to do it, but I've got it set up to do that. I've got all my components, at least those are the ones I'm going to be using, queued up. Got them built up. And to start, at least, I don't think I'll get the whole thing done because, well, that's a lot of work, is I'm going to start by working on getting my conveyor line built up to there. It's going to be quite a bit of work. It's going to take a lot of time, but it should be pretty simple to do. And I think I've got enough I may not have enough concrete for all the pillars. All I'm using that for is just the pillars. But I've got enough iron, I've got enough nickel, I think, to do the whole thing. But I can go get more. So first, well, yeah, let me just grab some steel, and that'll get me started. Well, first, I want to start with, I'll have to recolor all this. Well, I want to put one of those in. I'll put in one of those first. Oops, wrong button. Put it like that. Turn the lock on for now. And let's see. I might have to build that up just so I can hinge it up. Yeah. Yep. Let me weld that up. Where's my... Huh. It's connecting to a screen way back over there when I do that. Not to the hinge. Forgot hinge locks on. Okay, that's the right direction. Upper limit. Let's go. That for now. Do that just so I can build. Like I said, I'll be coloring all this later. Let's do that. And do I have it set out somewhere? Put one of those on. Let me get this stuff built up. Can I not reach that? And let's go to this blueprints. I already made my blueprint up. And we're going sideways. And key projection. So now we need to hinge this up until the far end clears. Guess I need to add a little bit here. Okay, I'm having a hard time seeing where that other end is at. It definitely needs to go up. Needs a bit more. This will take some time to get straightened out here. I think I'll go up to full 62 and that'll give me enough clearance. Ouch. See what that looks like down there. Looks about right. Let's get in here. No inventory. Start with steel plate. Grab all that. That should be enough for all of it. See how bad this is to do. Start heading that direction here a little bit after this one. But I think you get the general idea of how this process is going to go. As you can see, this will take a while. So I'll get some more of this welded up and I'll come back later. Hello and take a little bit of a side trip over here to Mars. While I'm welding up that conveyor line, I want to run some experiments, and to run this experiment, I was wanting a full-length space tether. And that's what that is. That one I have built all the way to the limit, to where the game will not let me add any more to the top of that. What it is in Space Engineers, outside of the PCU limit and outside of the block limit, there is a limit to how long or how far from a center point you can build any grid. And when you're building space elevators, about the only time you really run into that limit. And that's, in this case, it's just a touch over 20 kilometers. There's an exact number, I could look it up, but off the top of my head I can't remember it. But that one's to the limit, and I want to test something, because I think you can actually get past that 20 without using, normally you could just add a piston to it, and whatever you put on top of that piston is a subgrid or a separate grid. So you just continue from there. That's the normal way to do it, an accepted way to do it. But I don't plan on doing this normal and accepted. And that's where what I've got this experiment set up back here is for. I don't know how well this is going to work. I've got some ideas about how well it's not going to work. But I want to try to get into this and see how badly this goes. See, that's the bottom sensor. That is on my printer head, the builder, and you can see it's just a little over 20 kilometers up. I don't know if you'll be able to read that, but I'll run those stats up there. Because whenever you're running next to something like this, you start screwing around with it, you can get some really weird effects. And that's the main problem I'm seeing, or anticipate seeing right off. So, and this is in full survival still. That engine might be a little loud, but we're going to see how badly this goes. Okay. Slowly disconnect it from the rest of everything else. Yep. And that is what normally happens. And yes, that is a free-floating grid right now. It's kind of hard to see, but that thing is slowly falling over. Let's see if I can't build something real quick here. Need steel. And that just locked in. So that's locked in. That's locked in. Whoops. That's a rather large hole. And it looks like I lost that. So, and that's the reason I had the number, because I didn't know how far this thing would get torn up trying to pull that off. So let's get this repaired. think I've got steel over here. Or iron, I should say. Charge up. Right now I'm just trying to get this built up and stabilized a bit. What all do I have on me? Bunch of scrap. Let me go dump. Yeah, I'll dump that stuff over here. Let's see, I'm gonna need a power source. I don't know if I have enough for a battery over here or not. I don't think so. I don't need a lot of power. I might cut the camera here just to give myself a chance to get all this prepared and set up and ready to go. Well, I got that all mostly cleaned up. It's not 100% repaired, but I got it all cleaned up, and you can see that's just the tether itself minus the base and a little bit of an experiment over here. But if we want to put on the bottom of this one, that means we've got to lift it up. Now I could try to just dig a hole in there, I guess, and that would have been the easy way to do. But that's no fun. And eventually, for this plan to work, I need to be able to lift something like this up. So I was originally planning to have two, but I've only got one piston trying to lift this. It is holding it up right now, but I want to see if it can actually lift it. So let's get in here and see how badly we can do this. And nothing. I didn't expect it to. Well, one piston is indeed enough to lift a section like that. You have to crank it up a little bit. You know, that's past what you could normally do if you were not in experimental mode. But so's 20 kilometers worth of tower or tether. You can hear it is struggling a little bit. Let's straighten it out. It's probably higher than what I really need to take it, but I wanted to see if it can do the full 10 meters. Which it looks like it can. Horse crap. So one piston is indeed enough. And do I have any? No, I need some steel. Now, let's see if I can add to the bottom of it. So yeah, that probably means I could probably go another, if I had room, I could go another 20 kilometers off the other end of this thing. See, that's the thing with the limit on these space elevators, is most people hit it at around 20 kilometers, and that 20 kilometers is the limit from the center point. You can actually go another 20 kilometers down the other direction, so you can get a full close to 20 kilometers out of one of these. But you got to build off both ends, which is not something I've seen other people do, and it's not something that may be easy to do. I don't know if I'm going to be able to continue to push this thing up through a whole building cycle. Now, I'm not going to try to do it here on this one. I'll do it slightly different. But I wanted to run this experiment, wanted to show you guys somewhat what my idea of building onto one of these is to build it on both ends of the center point. And that should allow you to get past that 20 kilometer limit with just one piece, without having to do segments. And just to see if it'll let me do it, I'm going to jump in my carriage up there, go to the top, and that'll also let you show that this is indeed past that limit, because it probably won't let me do it on that end still. But I can and have built down on this end. Let me out. This takes a while, so I'll probably just speed it up. Well, that's not what I expected. Oh, wrong direction. Maybe I should have made this a static grid before I tried this. That is making some odd noises. Well, see you at the top. Well, here we are at the top. Yep. So, I can't build onto the top of it. I can go... See, I can go sideways on it. But it won't let me go on top. But before I made the trip up here, as you saw, I can build on the bottom. So yes, I believe I can go the full length off both sides. So you saw how big of a trip that was. I can do probably close to that off the other side if I wanted to. And that's my plan that I've had over going on Earth. Is so far I've been building resources. You know, that's all I've been doing, is getting resources, supply chains, and all that put together before I start in on the real project, which is getting something. It'll probably be bigger than this. You know, bigger cross section. I don't know if I'll do it multiple pieces or one piece. I'm not sure yet on that. But I'll build something like this, but I want to do it in one piece without having to do it in sections and get it completely out of the gravity well. So, thank you for watching and continuing to watch. And let's see if we can't get something like this built. See you later.